How many times have you heard someone say, "I'll do it some other time"? That's a forbidden way of thinking that needs to be avoided as much as possible. Actions always speak louder than words, and it's better to be a doer than a talker. Making more moves on life's chessboard will strengthen your ability to deliver while flourishing your creative drive in the process. It really is all about enjoying the adventure and the struggle, building that endurance up until you're roughly where you want to be. No matter which way we look at it, good will always triumph over evil. Having good intentions will always see you through any rocky predicaments. Sometimes it can seem as though the people that do the worst can often receive the most praise and recognition. If we think in this manner, we'll become brainless. There's no need to go around acting like a clown just because you're done with being decent. We all know that decent people get taken advantage of, but it's up to us to make sure we don't, whilst remaining good-spirited. If we're not careful with our careless actions when we're not thinking logically, we end up transforming into idiots. Good does not mean weak. In fact, it's completely the opposite. Being good is being powerful and skilled enough to move through life a humble person while making sure no one abuses your integrity. Practice being pleasant but firm towards those who appear to knock your positive aura. Good always conquers the bad in the long run, and it's a valuable trait to wear. Even when things don't go our way, we must stay firmly rooted in the ground. You can be distinctive, timeless. Any fool can run around acting stupid. Who would you rather be? Our habitats and upbringings often play a major role in sculpting who we are. Being exposed to the same things over and over again will eventually transform you into that entity. I get how it can be a complex process when it comes to breaking the traditions of your current circle, as we fear the idea of being ousted by our fellow companions or colleagues. However, allowing narrow-minded individuals the opportunity to sculpt your life only makes you part of the problem and not the solution. There's no point in complaining about the world if you do absolutely nothing to change it. Ask yourself, what impact am I having on the world? Am I trying to improve it at all? If you're not going to do it for the good of humanity, then at least do it for yourself. Be bold, be a leader, and lead by example. It won't be long before you create your own circle of powerful influencers. Don't be afraid to leave your poisonous circle of destruction behind. Always strive to do the right thing, even when it isn't a popular choice. By doing so, you become a better person. Only a certain number of the world's population have unique minds. These are the people standing on the outside, looking in, the ones who don't follow the masses. It's far more rewarding in all areas of life to be a custom-built individual rather than part of a batch production. The one that's different often has the odds stacked against them, but usually ends up with the biggest rewards, so it's always worth it. As humans, we are capable of doing so much more if we keep our vision clear, while staying humble without the belief that something or someone is more superior to another. The problem with today's society is people try to live via dated protocols, striving to apply these procedures in the modern world. People fail to realise that society evolves, so in order for life to make sense, those beliefs must evolve too. The issue with religion in particular is that most of the time, our ideologies do not evolve and thus remain stagnant in time. As humans, we like to be in denial and cease to accept the possibility of becoming more openly adaptable to living a life of freer nature. It's not to say that there's anything wrong with believing in something in particular. It's actually good to believe in something that gives you motivation in life. It only goes south when we do not evolve and apply realism in today's society. The first step to self-improvement is desiring to be better. We can either choose to ignore the fact that the world upgrades each day and be limited to what the mind can conceive, or we can embrace leadership and be more open to new things that transform our character's beliefs into a vital framework, which benefits us far greater. Religion without sense is like a car with no wheels. You can be in it, but it won't take you anywhere. We must be logical and good-natured if we want it to take us places for the greater good. We don't belong to a single race, but rather a human race, and it's vital to remember that. We're all born into the world as a blank canvas. What we see is absorbed into our operating system, which then shapes us into our character. This is why it's essential to gain the right energy and surround ourselves amongst those who see the world openly and equally. There's no other way to get ahead in the world other than maintaining balance, and most importantly, being positive. We must understand that race, social classes, flags, and so on were created to divide and establish personal insignia to those who wanted to advance in their own endeavours. The funny thing is, we still live in the shell of this matrix that has somehow been set for us many moons ago. If someone random approached you and demanded you follow something, you would most likely be skeptical. You'd think they were mad. So how is it ideologies that were created before we were even born are so strongly followed and embraced when we know nothing about the reasoning or origins of the idea? Strange, isn't it? It's the fear instilled into the common follower with the idea that leaving the regime results in being judged. Most of the time, sheeple will follow and praise a concept for their entire life, not realising they've only lived a fraction due to their dated, restrictive beliefs. Life isn't a one-size-fits-all scenario, and yet somehow we're made to believe it is. Try everything before dismissing it as unworthy of your time. The only way to discover who we are is to experiment with how situations and environments make us feel. If never faced with the unknown, how would we ever find our calling in life?